in your mind when you're not, when you're practicing, is there question marks about how, you're going to turn that all onto the field, onto the film?
It's never a finished product. Right now we're all, trying to get better as individuals, trying to help each other get better in order to, put together the finished product and, get it out there on the field. I'm pretty sure we're going to make a lot of mistakes, but, it's all about, just repping it and getting it out on film so we can get better from it.
How far away do you think you guys are from being ready for that first week? How much work is left?
A lot of work left. We're not, nearly close to where we want to be. We understand that, it is, just a process that we have to go through. It's a grind every day, and we're just working on getting better every day. We're not trying to, go out there and, invent the wheel or, trying to, score a touchdown on every play. We understand that, we got to take it one step at a time.
At the same time, are you ready to get out there and play somebody in a different jersey?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, just the fact that we see our defense every day, it gets tiring, but, we understand, like I said, that it's a process and, we have to go through it.
What receivers are standing out to you?
So far, all of the receivers have done some good things, and many of them have made mistakes. Stedman Bailey's really stepping up, being the go-to guy. Tavon Austin is, being his normal self and just being electrifying. We've had guys like Ryan Nealon step up. J.D. Woods has stepped up. Willie Millhouse, Tyler Urban's, becoming a great possession receiver. Everyone's just doing their part, and I think that's really helping us out so far.
Do you have enough receivers, do you think, to run this offense effectively?
Yes, definitely. I feel like we have, a lot of weapons, a lot of guys who can get it done, and we have, versatile guys. I didn't even mention Devon Brown, the transfer, who's been, making great strides for us. So, we're just looking forward to, just getting those guys out in the field and, seeing what they can do.
What kind of a role do you see the running backs playing in the passing aspect of the offense?
They play a huge role. We like to throw a lot of, swing passes out to them, get them out in space. So we have some good running backs who, can work well in space, and, we try and get them the ball in good situations.
Coach Holgorsen, it was well publicized when he first took the job, his offense and what he's done at every single stop along the way. How different is your perception of this offense now based on maybe the first day you heard he was coming on board?
It's no different. I'm not a guy who's, a rookie or anything. I've been in situations like this before as far as, moving the offense. Having a new coach and Coach Holgorsen is, it's kind of mixing up things. He has a different philosophy, a different style of doing things. Many people see it as unorthodox, but, it's very sound. He wants to run the ball, he wants to be balanced and take what the defense gives us.
Going into the, I know it's a little early to talk about it, but the first game that you got against Marshall is a game that last year was kind of your coming out party. You led those two drives towards the end of the game. Is that do you feel like that was kind of a turning point for you, or a time when the lights came on?
I wouldn't say the lights came on. I definitely think it was just a time for me to mature and become a step up and be a leader on this team and on this offense. Going back to that game, it was the second game, my second start ever, and being in that situation, it really made me just grow up in the moment.